It is time now to talk real estate, and Ozzie Jurock joins us from downtown Vancouver. Hello, Ozzie.
How are you doing? It's windy up here. It's howling.
Well, you be careful because you're pretty high up. We want to talk more about a story that we ran on yesterday's NewsHour. GVRD study says that basically the GVRD is getting too rich for us, most people, to live in.
No question about it. When you take a look at the average price increases that we've seen in the last few years, and particularly this last year when we almost had $100,000 added to the average price of a home.
Wow.
Our average home price, we have a few slides there, I think is now clocking in at $667,000.
That's for a new home, right?
That's a new
one. For a detached house, it's $623,000.
That's up almost $100,000 over last year.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. And remember, that's the average between Lions Bay and Mission. So on West Vancouver, that average is actually closer to $2 million, and it's $1.3 million on the west side.
When I first started talking to you on the New News about 3 or 4 years ago, I remember the average detached used home was about $380,000 or something.
That's very true. That's very true. And I kept saying, look, at San Francisco is so much further ahead at $700,000. Well, we're getting closer to some of those big numbered cities.
Wow. The numbers are also up for condos, used condos and new condos.
The used condo now is $274,000. The new condo is $412,000.
Wow.
Now, when you put that into a relationship as to what you need to earn in order to buy one of those things, well, the average single-family home now, you need an income of $122,000. And for the average two-bedroom condo, you need an income of $67,000. And the kicker is that our average income in Vancouver is $42,000. So we clearly have an affordability issue.
Yeah, I think that most people who live in Vancouver proper have an income much higher than that. Yeah. Obviously, they would have to be able to afford even a one-bedroom condo in the city.
Yeah, and also I was yesterday at a condo released by Price Waterhouse, and I mentioned that professionals actually have seen increases in their wages at around 5% a year, so they've kept somewhat pace with it.
Okay.
But there's maybe another interesting thing is that the best condominium report Price Waterhouse puts out every quarter, and they're saying that there's some 16,500 condos planned in the next 2 years. But there's only a demand for about 12,300, so we're actually going to be overbuilding by some 3,000 odd units.
So you think the condo market, therefore, will go down in the next few years?
Yeah, and in addition to that, they said some of them are mismatched. For instance, in Surrey, Delta, and Richmond, there's a demand for 1,500 townhouses, but on the books to be built is some 4,500. So it's area by area. The west side has some room to build, but some of the other, yes, will be overbuilt. And in their conclusions, they also said that the affordability now really becomes an issue.
Okay, so what will happen? Their conclusion is affordability becomes an issue. How do we get that market correction where it becomes affordable again?
Well, right now the demand is still strong. While sales have slowed a bit, it isn't by any means a disaster pending. You know, I mean, what is really unusual is to sell out a building over the weekend. So now to sell 3 or 4 units a week, it's quite normal. I think the market will have to come in balance, though, in terms of our affordability. And we have been talking here, we're a little bit worried about the pre-sale market, and I think people should really be very careful in terms of what they're buying.
Okay, is that the wind, Ozzie?
It's howling up here.
You better go down to the ground floor. It might be a bit safer. Thank you. We'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Thanks for having me.
If you have any more questions for Ozzie about what we talked about, or if you would like to purchase a copy of his newsletter, you can check his website, www.jurock.com. You can email him at oz@jurock.com, or you can call him 604-683-1111.